The very first hearing we held in the subcommittee just over 2.5 years ago was titled Cybersecurity, the Evolving Nature of Threats Facing the Private Sector. Since that first hearing, we have held over a dozen hearings on a variety of cybersecurity issues facing the Congress and the country, including encryption technology, the risk posed by insecure legacy federal IT systems, and the opportunities and challenges posed by connected vehicles. Today's hearing on the Internet of Things builds on all the work we have done over the last 2.5 years to better understand the innovations of the digital age and how to implement needed legislative updates to continue protecting consumers and allowing American creativity to grow. The Internet of Things presents an opportunity to improve and enhance nearly every aspect of our society, economy, and day-to-day lives. But in order for us to be able to fully harness this technology, the Internet of Things needs to be built with security in mind, not as an afterthought. When integrating these devices into our lives, people need to know that they are secure. Unfortunately, we are far from this ideal state because many IoT devices violate basic cybersecurity practices. Some IoT devices lack the ability to be patched or include hard-coded passwords that cannot be changed by the user. This latter vulnerability was exploited in the recent attack on Den, which took down Netflix, Spotify, Twitter, and a number of other websites for hours. Senators Mark Warner and Cory Gardner have recently proposed one way of potentially increasing the cybersecurity of these devices by introducing a bill that would set minimum security requirements for devices purchased by the federal government. I applaud them for the effort and the thought that went into this legislation. I look forward to getting into the details of that legislation in today's hearing to answer some questions like, is the definition of IoT in the bill too broad? Does the bill apply to mobile devices? Should it? The cybersecurity requirements for devices in the bill might make sense now, but will they soon become outdated? As I've said before, we have great challenges in front of us, but also a tremendous opportunity to be bold and decisive, and reform the federal government. I thank the witnesses for being here today and look forward to hearing and discussing bold ideas to increase the level of cybersecurity of the Internet of Things so that we can all benefit from the revolutionary opportunities it offers. And as usual, I'm glad to be able to explore these issues with my friend and ranking member, the Honorable Robin Kelly from Illinois. And when she arrives, we'll recognize her for her opening remarks. But we'll go ahead and make introductions of our witnesses. We have Mr. Matthew Eggers, the Executive Director for Cybersecurity Policy at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Tommy Ross, Senior Director of Policy for the Business Software Alliance. Mr. Josh Corman, Director of the Cyber Statecraft Initiative at the Atlantic Council. And Mr. Ray O'Farrell, Chief Technology Officer at VMware. And welcome to you all.